That was a great song. It's one of her new ones, I believe, isn't it? Or is that?
That's an old song.
It's an old song. Okay.
Yeah,
Roxanne.
she was just played that, didn't it?
Well, I think Roxanne, the song just made me think about what's going on at our state capitol. Just kind of brought that to my mind as I was listening to it. And I think this is a great station. Our viewers on Channel 11 know a lot about the pro-life movement. They know a lot. We've had Carol Everett on our program.
That's right.
Who used to be very, very deep
Well,
into
Carol Everett's, her goal, she owned an abortion clinic.
in Dallas.
In Dallas. Her goal as she had opened this abortion clinic was to make $25 profit for every abortion she conducted that went through her clinic. She said that at $25 per abortion, her goal was to make $1 million. She was at $750,000 when she realized the evil of the abortion industry. And
I think she always realized, but she just didn't want to be a part of it anymore, and God turned her heart around.
God turned her heart around. You know, when you look at how many abortions.
Well, the reason I bring up Carol is because Carol Everett is a wonderful advocate.
For life.
She goes to the Capitol, she talks to the senators, she talks to representatives. She tells them the truth of what's going on with the abortion industry.
That's right.
Of course, if you're pro-life, you want to shut all of the clinics down. But this bill is not to shut down. And when it goes back to the Senate, it probably won't be SB, stands for Senate Bill 5. They'll give it a new name because it's a new session. But there's nothing evil with this at all. And so I'm kind of at like, what? I don't get why they're upset about it, women who want good health care, because there's basically 3 points to the bill. It requires that a doctor who provides abortions to secure admitting privilege at a nearby hospital. And that is because so many times when they're admitted that something goes wrong at the abortion clinic, the doctors aren't sending them to the hospital. They don't have admitting rights, so they just send them home.
See, and all this is saying, all the bill's saying is that if the doctor, before he does any abortions, he just works out a deal with the hospital that if something goes wrong with the abortion, that I can send the girl to the hospital. And it's just pre-coordination of any admitting rights that would need to be happening in a case of an emergency.
In the documentary that Carol Everett is in, she talks about one of the cases where one of the ladies, something happened. I mean, I think it was not just her uterus, but
it's just
it was so
gross,
gross, I won't go there. But instead of taking her to a doctor, they took her like to a back alley kind of clinic thing to sew her up, and it was all secret, and the lady didn't even know. We don't want that stuff in Texas. In Texas, we don't want one of the Kermit Gosnell doctors to be part of our clinics. We don't want dirty clinics like that. We want our women safe here. And I can't understand why any woman or any man who's not evil.
See, and I see no purpose in any abortion.
I know.
I'm really,
But this isn't about eliminating abortions. This is about making the clinics safe. If we don't have safe clinics, then make them safe. They can be made safe. As safe as possible.
I agree.
And also, it requires all abortion clinics to meet the same health and safety regulations as a surgical center. It's like we were just talking today about taking your animal to a veterinarian. You don't want to take your animal to a dirty veterinarian, so why would you want to take your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, your daughter, or niece, or anyone to a dirty abortion clinic? No, we want regulations just like you would a surgical center. Our women deserve that. And thirdly is a doctor who personally administers an abortion-inducing drug to the patient. No more of this, well, the doctor signs off at it later. We need the women to go directly to the doctors to have these prescriptions. Because I work very closely. I'm one of the board members at Chicon Pregnancy Resource Center right here on 12th and Chicon. We've talked to women who have had these abortion-inducing pills and have had very severe bleeding and lots of things that went wrong. So we need these to be administered to doctors so the women are safe. That's the only thing the bills are. So I think what has happened is that people have said, well, all but 5 clinics are going to be shut down in Texas if we pass this. Well, if that's the case, then spend your energy and make these clinics safe for the women. That's a no-brainer, right?
Close them down.
Well, no, but you make them safe.
It's down to 5. That's good. You know, they're saying that, you know, women will have back alley abortions. There'll be all kinds of, but you know, the abortions. Women were having abortions for hundreds of years. All kinds of ugliness. You know, in 1971, it wasn't legal in '73. I know in '71 that there were girls having abortions that, you know, they just go to Kansas. They were already running their abortion mills in Kansas at the time. And, you know, any type of law that protects the, if it's a surgical center, it should be clean. Anytime, if it's, you know, if you're doing a surgery, whether, say if you're doing an eye surgery and something goes wrong and the doctor, oh, well, I'm going to have to pull out his eye, and you know, maybe I've got cataracts or something, I'm going to have to pull his eye out.
And use a dirty tool?
Yeah, use a dirty tool to do it. And I don't have any preset plan with the hospital, so I'll just send him down here to, you know, the mechanic shop, see if they can put it. You know, this is just stupid, you know.
There is one other part of the bill that a lot of people are talking about, and that's after 20 weeks. Did you know that there's no abortions in Texas after 20 weeks? Did you know that a poll showed that 80% of Texans want abortions banned after 20 weeks? 20 weeks, a baby's almost 5 months old and can live on its own. And Governor Perry does this no pain bill. Believe me, there have been studies from all the way back in the 1980s that babies feel pain as early as 5 weeks old.
That's right.
So by the time it's 20 weeks, I mean, they even did ultrasounds back in 1985, and I cannot remember the doctor's name, but he became a very big advocate for the pro-life industry. When he did this ultrasound and filmed it as the baby was being aborted, and he watched the baby getting away from the tools. And he was convinced that these babies feel pain, and it's documented now with so much more technology. So that's why we have the no pain. And like Craig says, 20 weeks, it ought to be way, way, way before the 20 weeks. This is like way past. So there is absolutely no reason that any woman in her right mind would not do this, would not want this for our clinics. Spend your energy, if you're pro-abortions, spend your energy on fixing your clinics so that they are safe and clean. That's my redneck.
Yeah. Well,
And if you need help, if you're pregnant and you need help, there are centers, pregnancy centers all over Austin with the most wonderful women that are in charge, that are there to help you in counseling, and getting baby
Loving
clothes
on
if you
you
need,
and-
getting
and-
all the resources you need, helping you into the hospitals, helping you connect if you need to adopt the baby
That's
out.
right.
If you need a home to live in. These women in Austin, Texas are absolutely awesome. I know them personally.
Right, too. That's
And no matter what part of town, if you're in South Austin, North Austin, at the university, in East Austin, West Austin, we have got the most wonderful pregnancy resource centers. Just pick up the phone, call me, I'll get you in touch with, I'll personally introduce you. And if you have anyone that needs help, you know.
Choose life. You know, the whole thing is when you choose life, you don't go through the shame
Oh, my
and the
gosh.
pain. You know, the woman that did the filibuster at the
Wendy
Capitol,
Davis.
Wendy Davis, you know, her mother was a single parent and didn't abort her.
She was a single mother.
Yeah, didn't abort her and raised her. Wendy had a child when she was a teenager, was a single mother as a teenager, and went on to graduate from Harvard as a doctor or whatever degree she got from Harvard. You know, proving her mother and Wendy, both proving choosing life was a blessing. And yet she was going to be such a big advocate.
And I didn't get the Senator West, who was doing the crowd to do the applause and outbursts, which is a Rule 3.05 of the Senate rule, says you cannot do applause and outbursts and demonstrations by any spectators. It's not permitted during a session of the Senate.
But
and
I had
rule should
someone
be
mention about President Obama sending Wendy Davis a congratulatory letter. You know, and people say, well, you know, that didn't understand that. President Obama, even as Senator Obama, was the most pro-abortion senator in the history of the United States. He's been the most pro-abortion president in our history, not only in the United States, but he and Hillary Clinton have pushed this pro-abortion agenda throughout the world, through the other nations of the world, dangling American money in front of heads of state of nations, saying unless you legalize abortion in your nation, we will withhold funds from the United States of America. This has been an agenda of evil throughout the world. And here we are divided in the United States of America. You know, it would be like if we're clubbing baby seals in Alaska, everybody sees that as evil. If someone is torturing a puppy or hurting a kitten, we see that as evil. But if people realize the evil that's being done to the babies in the womb, the crushing of their heads and the removal of their arms and legs.
We have lots of documentation and videos at jci-ministries.org. So if you want to go to that website and click on your pregnancy resource centers, you want to find out more of the truth about Planned Parenthood was started by Margaret Sanger, who wanted black people to be eliminated. And this is all documented, and we've shown this on our Channel 11, and we're getting the information out there, and we love babies of all colors. We love our community here in East Austin. And you know, it's the 4th of July, and we're going to go out with Let the Good Times Roll.
Yep, in about 2 minutes.
In about 2 minutes. Okay, we have 2 minutes. No, we have a minute. So you can talk some more.
But you know, main thing is to treat people like you want to be treated. Right. You know, show love to those around you. You know, I believe the way I believe because, you know, I know the hurt that's involved, not only from the girls, the females that have abortions, but from the men that are involved too. You know, anytime they show that 99% of relationships fail after an abortion, you know, that's...
No, I think it's 97%.
That's brokenness. That's people being broken. That's hurting people. You know, when you've gone through any type of situation like this, and if you've already gone through it, know that there's forgiveness. It's hard to forgive ourselves sometimes when we make a bad mistake, but know that there's forgiveness there. Know that Jesus died on the cross to save us from all the wrong things that we do. For everything wrong we did yesterday, everything wrong we do today, and everything wrong we'll do tomorrow. He's already paid the price at the cross for those mistakes. And all we have to do is just turn our cares to Him. Say, Lord, please take this brokenness, take this pain away. And He does. He does. Know that God is a great believer in life, but know He loves you regardless of what path you've gone down. And when we make those wrong choices, all we have to do is lift our hands to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm sorry. Forgive me. And He will.